Hey guys, my name is Sergei Evglevski. I'm an Olympian and I compete in the 25-meter rapid fire pistol event. This is my program of my shooting and what I do to help improve my shooting. So the three essentials of pistol shooting, and this can be done, these three essentials can be transitioned to any type of pistol shooting, whether it's rapid fire, air pistol, center fire, whatever it may be. As long as you focus on these three essentials, this will help you with your pistol shooting no matter what. Essential number one is that you want to be focusing on the front sight. You want the front sights to be in line, and you want your sights to be in line when you're pulling the trigger. So what I mean by that, if we look at the gun, the front sight and the back sight, you want them to be aligned and to create that perfect picture like this. And the reason you want this to be perfect is because this is your aiming. This is how you aim. This is how you shoot a 10. This is how you shoot a bullseye. You want your front sight to be perfect, and you want to keep that perfect for the duration of the shooting. Which brings me to my next point, pulling of the trigger. When you're pulling a trigger, this is like a golf swing. This is like tying your shoes. You want to be following through the whole thing. You don't want to half tie your shoes and go for a walk because you trip over. Same thing with pulling the trigger. You will not produce a good shot if you stop halfway or if you don't pull the trigger smoothly and all the way through. So pulling the trigger all the way through from start to end is a really crucial factor in pistol shooting no matter what. You can be holding onto the target with your sights in line and not pull the trigger for ages. But as soon as you start pulling that trigger, you don't want to stop. Same with a golf swing. You want to keep that golf swing going all the way through. You don't want to hesitate and then stuff up the swing. Same with shooting. You want to pull that trigger all the way through and then release, and this will help produce the best shot that possibly can be. So a big mistake that shooters make is that, so what they do, they pull the trigger, they pull, and then 0.1 of a second right before the shot goes off, they forget everything and they react to the shot. You know, they swing a little bit to the left of the gun, they swing a little bit to the right of the gun, and the shot goes everywhere. It just sprays across the target. It actually doesn't go where you want it to go. Holding the gun, keeping up that strength out there, and really just holding the gun as long as you're pulling the trigger and as long as you're holding the gun all the way through, you'll be able to avoid those mistakes. Another mistake that people do is they tend to start watching the target instead of the sights. So what you want to do to help focus this is just have little reminders to yourself to keep watching the sights. That's all you need to do as well. You don't want to be looking at the target just because that shifts your focus and that shifts the actual aiming itself. You want to be watching your front sight. And be watching your front sight the whole time during the shooting and just pulling that trigger smoothly and holding all the way to the end. And then the third aspect, I believe, is holding the gun properly. So a lot of people struggle with holding the gun because they don't have enough strength. So what you want to do, you want to build up your strength in your shoulder, your back and your core. Basically just build up your strength in your whole body in general. And you want to hold the gun at the target, keeping your sights aligned like I mentioned before, and pulling that trigger smoothly, and you just want to hold the gun all the way through. And when I say hold the gun, I don't mean just grip the gun as hard as you can. I mean picture a metal pole going through your arm, through to the end of the gun, through that barrel. You don't want to cause any movements like this. You don't want to react like that because that's not holding. You want to have it all the way through, so when you pull the trigger, the recoil goes up and down, and it comes back to a perfect alignment, and it comes back to what a perfect shot looks like. You want to just make sure you're holding the gun, keeping that strength up, and just pulling the trigger all the way through, and keeping your sights aligned. Another common mistake that people do with shooting is they don't grip the gun properly. What I like to do, especially in my minute load, so when I'm loading the gun, I like to really force my hand in there and get a really good grip of the gun to the point where I'm really squeezing my hand and I can feel the strength in my hand in the grip. And then what I do then is I make sure that I'm holding correctly and make sure I'm really strong with it. Give a bit of a shake to kind of enforce that stability. And then I like to pinch the top of the grip here with your index finger and your thumb. Pinch that a little bit whilst with your three fingers here, pulling that into yourself. That reinforces that grip and that reinforces that the holding of the gun and making sure that the hold is well. If you're loosely holding the gun, it's just going to flop around. You're not going to be strong with it. However, if you really force your hand in there, feel strong, give yourself that kind of that confidence, that you're gripping the gun really well, that'll really boost your shooting and make your shooting grips tighter as well, and it'll just make your shooting a whole lot better. So breathing in rapid fire is a really important factor, and many shooters do it different ways. I personally like to hold my breath while I shoot. So I have my gun loaded and I'm ready to go, come up to the target, and when the range officer says attention, I breathe out. And in that time frame, I breathe in through the nose, and I'll do about a half breath out. So that way my lungs still feel full and my chest and my body feels strong. And once this is done, the lights will go green on the targets, and I'll hold my breath all the way through. So I'll produce the shots, I'll go bang, 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 follow through to the sixth target, come back down, and follow through all the way through. And once I've put my gun down, then I breathe out the rest of the breathing. So there's a lot of different shooters wear a lot of different shoes. Me personally, I love to wear weightlifting shoes. The reason I like to wear weightlifting shoes is like weightlifting, you want your body to be stable and you want to be grounded into the ground, into the earth. So shooting's a similar thing. When you're shooting, you don't want to be flimsy and kind of going left and right, and you don't want your body feeling weak. You want your body to feel strong and grounded and stable. So when I wear my weightlifting shoes, it really helps me get grounded into the earth and really stand like a statue. That way when I'm there, I know my body's frozen, I know I'm feeling like a statue, I'm feeling strong, and I'm just doing my motions and doing everything else I need to do. When I'm wearing shoes like runners or just softer, softer sole shoes and softer bottom shoes, this doesn't provide stability. So shoes like these do not provide stability. You want weightlifting shoes or you want specific shooting shoes. Nutrition in shooting is an interesting thing. It is shooting. We are lucky that it's a sport there where we don't rely on nutrition too much for our energy. But what I like to do and what I think is important in shooting is to have good food so that you're mentally feeling good, your body's feeling good. You're not producing bad things in your body. You're having good foods before the competition. That way you mentally feel good as well. So leading up to a competition, I like to eat a lot of veggies, a lot of meat, a lot of fish, and really just clean, nice food, especially whole food. So fruits, veggies, not processed food. Leading up to a competition, I like to kind of stay away from the processed food and eat more the vegetables, the meats, red meat especially, as well as fish. I also like to take some supplements, so whether that's whey protein or omega-3 tablets. The reason I like to take this is to increase my protein intake for the competition to help me last a little bit longer mentally. And omega-3, I like to take that for my eyesight as well as just general health. I believe it's important to have really good healthy foods before a competition because you just mentally feel better. If you're having greasy processed food, your body is feeling, your body will be at all-time low and you will not be producing the results that you want in the shooting range. For recovery during the week, I do like to get into the sauna about 2 to 3 times a week. Having this in my routine is really important because it relaxes your muscles and really helps rebuild those muscles and those tissues that you would have used while shooting. Because shooting is strength-based as well, we also get little injuries, whether it's tennis elbow or injuries in our shoulder or in our back. So recovery is a really important factor. The sauna helps recover these muscles, and I like to accompany it with an ice bath or a cold shower. So I like to do that cold and hot contrast therapy, and I do this about 2 to 3 times a week, and this really helps rebuild my muscles and really helps me produce much better results in the shooting range.